a possible broader threat to our electrical infrastructure. David Terry joins me now. He's the Executive Director of the National Association of State Energy Officials. David, thanks for taking time this morning.
Good morning, Jim. Thank you.
So first of all, we should note that this is the second attack of this kind we've seen. You had this attack in North Carolina. You had another similar one in 2013 back just south of San Jose. There are thousands of these substations across the country with minimal protection, perhaps beyond a chain link fence. Are they under threat now from groups like this?
I think the short answer is yes. And I have to say first, just to the thousands that were impacted in North Carolina, this is obviously was a serious, even life-threatening event. I think Governor Cooper has shown great leadership in that situation. I think the kinds of threats that are out there are related to what you hinted at, which is the electric grid is a massive, interconnected, for the most part, machine. It's impossible to protect every node, but we have known since that 2013 attack, state, federal, industry leaders have taken steps to protect critical nodes, but there remain substations in particular that we can't protect infinitely, unfortunately.
I mean, I remember a similar response both after the Oklahoma City bombing and after 9/11, right, where you had steps taken across the country to secure, say, glass in federal buildings and government buildings, and you're talking about thousands of them. It's hard to prioritize. I mean, you have thousands of these. Given your experience and a look at the threat across the country, is this a situation where communities have to secure power stations with, for instance, walls around them that could stop gunfire like this? Or is that going too far?
It's not going too far, but we have to be selective about it. There are critical nodes, particular substations, particular power plants. Many of those have been identified, if not all. It is challenging to protect them in that fashion. I think in partner with that, there are really two pieces. One is the hardening of infrastructure, and that certainly continues to occur, but the threat increases even more rapidly. But the second part is to be more resilient. So you see state energy, governor energy directors around the country working with their utilities in the Department of Energy. I think Deputy Secretary Turk has shown great leadership there as well to work on things like microgrids and backup power for mission critical facilities like hospitals and nursing homes. So it's a multi-pronged approach. Part of it is that hardening, guns and guards for shorthand. Certainly, there's a lot of room for that for improvement, but also the resilience side, really diversifying how we serve those critical needs in every community.
There was an FBI DHS bulletin a couple weeks before this attack warning about domestic extremist groups, and we now have investigators speaking of this openly who have spoken about targeting critical infrastructure. Are there particular groups, kinds of groups that you've received warnings about and that authorities should be looking at here?
There are, and certainly we have discussions with U.S. Department of Energy, Department of Homeland Security, governor's offices, utilities, and others. We can't really talk about those publicly, but what I would say is that the challenge we have is the physical and cybersecurity infrastructure is constantly changing, the threat to that. And we have elevated the level of alert generally on these substations right now, but we've been working that for quite a while, and I think it continues to be that two-prong approach in trying to address the resilience, the recovery when these incidents do happen.
Yeah, and there are foreign actors who have the cyber capability to take down stations like this. David Terry, good to have you on.
Thank you.